Brought to you in association with Grendel Press. This is Werewolf the Podcast, a serial killer drama.
Will the werewolf. I hate waiting. Waiting is shite, innit? Not because I'm impatient. I am impatient, but this was a different sort of waiting. This waiting sort of implied someone else was in control of the outcome of that waiting. And I didn't enjoy that feeling. These fecking holding cells were always so fecking cold. Misery was embedded in the walls. It was damp too. I really did not want to spend, too much more time in here. Walls are concrete, painted, condensation runs down them, steel bench, the faint smell of disinfectant trying and failing to hide older, uglier smells of horrible things. Well, it's trying to hide puke and shite, to be honest. I sat here anyway, uncomfortably but sat. One ankle rested on my knee, focusing on perfect posture, trying to gain perfect calm. Perfect calm, that is, with a slight hint of irritation. I was looking at my phone. It glowed softly in the dim light. Auction site, classic cars, of course. I flicked an easy thumb lazily across the screen. Jaguar, filter, click, E-type. My mouth twitched in faint appreciation. Oh, wow, Series 1, I murmur.
Good choice. 2 fucking seater,
said my wolf soul Fenrir, who lay stretched across the floor beside me. He's like all invisible, and massive. A presence more than a shape. I could feel the slow, content rhythm of the wolf's breathing inside my skull. He was watching the screen with me, through my own eyes.
You don't need another stupid bloody car,
Fen said. Well, I don't really need muckstings, I replied, silently, but in my head, 'cause that's how he listens. You kind of get it by now, I hope.
That's never bloody stopped you,
he says, with a little hint of anger. I nodded as I removed a stick of chewing gum from my pocket, unwrapped it carefully and placed it in my mouth. I screwed up the foil and paper, threw it on the bench, thought about it, picked it up and put it in my pocket. I wasn't supposed to be here after all.
Peppermint,
said Fen in my head.
Nice.
You sort of get used to sharing your senses eventually. Oh, wow! I say, my enthusiasm for what I see now is evident in my tone. I tried to zoom in on the photo, but annoyingly, it took me a few too many seconds to work out how to do it on this bastarding phone. Ah, there we go. British Racing Green. What? Oh, Mark 1, restored, immaculate. The kind of machine built when humans still believed craftsmanship mattered. I smiled. A thrill in my wolfy want of things was grabbing me. I do miss when they made things properly, I share with my best wolfy pal.
Underpowered rust bucket with shit brakes that does not go around corners. Fucking excellent.
Fen's... Well, he's such a sarcastic bastard at the best of times. True, I say, but just look at it. There are suddenly footsteps outside, smells of people I recognise and another. Well, I do recognise that smell, but it's changed slightly. I can smell Ben being angry, no change there. I can smell Sula. How does she always hide her emotions? The steps are heavy, official, keys rattle. Whoa, did the bastards actually lock me in here? There'll have to be words and someone will be brought to account for caging me. We don't allow that. There's a metal squeal as they open a lock. I don't look up, I just stand up and put my back to those entering. They have to disturb me now, don't they? I just found this fucking site. For God's sake. Ugh, I know what I'll do, I'll just ignore them. Just keep scrolling. Next listing. Silver. Oh, like the original. Wire wheels. Proper old interior. The cell door opened with a dull mechanical clunk. Cold air slipped in, along with the smell of cheap paper cup coffee and fear. Fen lifted his head.
This one,
The wolf murmured. Yes, I thought.
I can smell him. Guilt. It's got a scent.
Yeah, I know, sharp like old pennies and sweat. Nisha was guided inside, shuffling, shoulders hunched, arms wrapped around himself like he was trying to hold the pieces together. The door shut behind him. Lock clicked. Final. Fuck's sake. Give me a fucking minute, I said to my new roomie before he spoke. I need to see this. Right. The auction description. Wow. Matching numbers, I murmur approvingly. Rare. Right, I suppose, I say out loud, before tapping the save icon and putting the phone in my pocket. I mean, it's a lot of money, but the last E-Type I had was lost in a fire. It was almost identical to this one. Do you know what? I had to have it. I turn and now sort of meet my guest. I walk confidently across the cell, extending an arm for a handshake.
Can you not get this one modded so at least the suspension does not feel like a fucking coal barge on a canal going round a bend?
Fen asked. He had a good point. Should I? Nah. It would be sacrilege to mod this particular car. The new person in the room looked at me lost. He stared at the hand I offered as though it was something alien, something that was going to, I don't know, hurt him or bite him. His face full of confusion first, then recognition, then something worse. I dropped my unshaken hand, rude, but I gave him a polite, almost friendly smile. Evening, I said in as a friendly way as I could muster. Like you do when you meet someone at the bus stop. Not that I've ever been at a bus stop. I could get a 5-speed gearbox put in, I mentally told the wolf soul.
Well, if you're going to do that, then you might as well go full hog,
Replied Fen.
Mod it, totally.
He had a valid point, actually. Nisha's voice came out of thin air. It totally broke my train of thought. You? He swallowed. You were there? I tilted my head slightly. Fenrir's invisible shape rose behind me like my shadow, which she was, and so much more. Yes, I said calmly. Do you know what? I do get around, I told the man.
So, you want to drive it hard with good gearing? The cooling system's not going to cope with that then.
Fen raised another good point. I said out loud, lost in my thoughts again. The man, he looked at me and backed towards the wall, backed as far from me as the small cell allowed. His breathing quickened, his scent became, scent of terror. I told them, he said quickly. I told them it were me. Eh? I asked. Oh, right, yeah, I see what you mean. That was nice of you? I nodded. Maybe you're right. I buy a bit of a shitty version and get it souped up for a proper driving experience that looks super pretty, I said to the wolf in my head.
Would make it sort of worth having, wouldn't it?
He replied. I took my phone out and opened it all up again and looked at the beautiful car. It's so pretty, though.
All you could do is bloody look at it.
Fen replied. He was right. I placed my phone nice and gently, screen down on the bunk, and took off my jacket, folded it, and placed it over the phone while thinking about this car. Unhurried, composed. And then the thought struck me. Brilliant! I could get two, I said out loud. Fen, well, he was exasperated.
Fucking hell.
He spat. I gave the man before me a bright smile. Fen's tail swished behind me, slow, predatory.
Ugh, it smells of piss and fear.
Fen whispered. I turned to look at Fen now standing behind me. What?
Him?
He looked at Nisha as Nisha tried to back out through the cell wall. It was funny. It was like he was trying to burrow out using his, what they called. Those things at the back of you. What they called. Shoulder blades, that's them. Oh, I said. Right. I turned my attention to the man again and rolled up the sleeves of his shirt. I could... do you know what? I could get the silver car and store it in my new garage when I get one and if I get one. And I could mod up the green one and use it as like a everyday runabout. That would be perfect, wouldn't it, Fen? Nisha's voice cracked. I didn't mean... he started. I raised a hand gently, trying a more comforting smile, not threatening him, just asking for silence. I was thinking. I never had a classic British racing green sort of car before, though. You need to have one, I told him. He stared at me, terrified and confused. I must seem completely nuts. I know, that made no sense, mate. Sorry, I told him. You see, what it is, I've got like 2 conversations going on in my head. You know how it is? Well, I suppose possibly not. You don't have a giant invisible wolf soul that can make you a werewolf, do you? His face, it was brilliant. It must feel pretty crappy and unprofessional that my head's full of my new cars when actually I'm just going to murder you. Nisha's face, well, more horror. Oh, no, look, I'm sorry. Yeah, I get it, this is an important moment for you.
Be professional.
I could sense the smirk in the wolf's jibe. Ahem. I cleared my head of cars. Ish. Right, I'm ready.
It's pretty rude.
Came to my head from the wolf. Then Fen laughed.
Can we not get a red one?
He continued. Eh? This knocked me sideways. Completely derailed me. That's fucking Ferraris! I snapped angrily. Fen laughed. He'd done his work. He'd distracted me again. Oh, fuck. Sorry. I apologised again to Nisha and lifted both hands in some kind of apology. Sorry. Back to the task in hand, I continued. The man was actually visibly shaking and holding himself hard now. He looked like a lost child or something. He hadn't done anything like yell for help or out, so I sort of sensed his resignation. The fluorescent light above my head still buzzed. Somewhere down the corridor, a door slammed. Distant voices, normal sort of police station sounds, I think. Ordinary. Inside the cell, the air felt thick, heavy, like a storm sort of waiting for permission. I should give this thing a bit more reverence, shouldn't I? And shit, I told Nisha.
Okay, let's just make it seem something important,
said Fen. I kind of leaned back, sort of semi-nonchalantly against the wall, trying to look relaxed and comfortable. Like a man waiting for like a delayed train or something. You know, I said conversationally to Nisha, I was just looking at a rather beautiful E-Type. 1964, yeah, perfect lines. Do you know, humans used to build things to last. Nisha stared at me. He was trembling, not understanding how this conversation could possibly, be happening. Fenrir's voice slid through my mind like a low growl.
I don't mean to be a bother, but shall we get on with it?
He asked. I watched Nisha for a long, quiet moment. It was the first real time I'd looked at the man. Actually sort of noticed him. I studied him, measured him, decided on my judgment, and then I sighed softly, almost disappointed. Okay. I smiled at Nisha as I reached out and gently grabbed him by the throat, extra carefully. I had to, I'd been told to limit the bruises, apparently. It had to look like an accident. No time to play. No time to have any fucking fun in my job. We don't want it to look like a murder, I heard the professor in my head say, except with a better accent. It was murder, though. I lifted the body bodily off its feet and took it through a simple arc, slamming its head on the edge of the steel bench. Bonk! It actually bonked on the side of the bench. Nice! I laughed at the sound. Well, that was it. He was dead. It was all done. And then the man fucking screamed. Shit! Not dead. Laughter from the wolf. Fuck off, Fen, I countered. I'd not quite killed him the first time, so I re-grabbed the man's neck to quell the scream. Nisha shook and shuddered in my grasp, dull doe eyes staring at me in horror. Hands reached for mine, scratching at them. I shook him. None of that now, I told him as though talking to a toddler. Ah, fuck. Oh, bollocks. Why did you have to go and do that? I asked him as blood ran from the crimson seam that had been created in the side of his head. This time, I lifted him just a little bit higher and considered this for a moment. Then, thinking of the damage already done, I just lowered him a little. That's probably how it'd work. He probably would not need as much of a bonk this time. I banged it a little harder, managing a good connection with the edge of the seat beddy type thing. There was a crunch and a gurgle. Done! But no! The bastard was still breathing. Fen started laughing. Come on! I yelled at the bloody mess now in my hand.
This one's like your fucking bullshit E-type. It's fucking built to last.
I paused to make eye contact with my invisible soul. Yeah, I know that sounds stupid. Funny. But you know what? Fuck off, Fen, I said. I nodded at him.
Child liar this time. But remember, it has to not look like a murder. Yes, Judge. He just banged his head 3 times from an unexplainable height and died on the 3rd blow.
He laughed. I lifted the man higher. Blood ran onto me fingers and hand. Oh, not this shirt. No, it was new. I swapped hands carefully, trying to keep the wet one away from my clothes. I then put a little bit more sort of oomph into the next slam. The head cracked and sagged like a pop balloon. I don't know, a pop balloon or a partially boiled egg or a head being smashed onto a steel bench.
No mess,
laughed Fen. He was enjoying this far too much. Dickhead. I now looked at the, soggy thing that had been a head, and I saw bits of skull that must have been, and that bit there, that gooey bit, was brain. I'd seen it before. It was oozy. He had to be dead this time. I listened. Yeah, his heart had stopped. I placed the now corpse on the floor. What? Someone tapped me on my shoulder from behind and offered a towel. I didn't see who they were, and I accepted the towel the way a man accepts change at a counter, automatic, polite, unthinking, didn't really consider or question it. Thank you, I said, already sitting on the bench and rubbing the sticky warmth off my fingers. Blood always cools faster than you think, doesn't it? You know, when you get it on your fingers and stuff, it leaves like a nasty, sort of crusty film. It's horrible. Fenrir howled inside me, not aloud, never allowed. A sharp, panicked flare of warning slammed into my skull. What? I asked him grumpily, continued to trying to rub the bloody red stuff off my hands.
Well, turn around slowly.
In my head, I mentally said, oh shit, what now? And frowned. I paused mid-wipe. Something around about in the air had shifted, its pressure changed, like a storm settling its weight on the room. I glanced sideways, then took a proper shufty. Lucifer stood there, watching me. Oh, shit again, I said out loud this time. She'd clearly been watching for a while. She leaned against the cell door as though it was a decorative feature. Her posture was relaxed, her expression was bright with delight. Her gaze flicked down briefly to the body that was now lying at my feet. Nisha was, he was proper dead. I mean, his skull was, sort of proper shape wrong now. The 3 impacts had, let's just say, damaged it a little too much. It had not been an efficient killing. I'd kind of fucked it up, to be honest. It was what it was, a very messy killing in the way only blunt force trauma ever was to do it, you know. Lucifer clicked her tongue.
Oh, Will,
she said gently.
3 times?
I looked at her. I didn't really know what to say. I cleared my throat and suddenly became very aware that I was naked to the elbows in dried blood. That, I began. That, I tried to continue, then I stopped. Embarrassment's not really an emotion I often experience, but it It crept up on me like an unfamiliar illness. I didn't realise I had company, I said to the woman, devil, demon thing bitterly. Fenrir's presence pressed hard against my thoughts.
That's her. It's Lucy.
I fucking know! I messaged him back, in me head. We've met, you know. I tried to message him again, in me mind, all sort of whispery in a secret way so she couldn't hear. You were there! I heard the Queen of Hell scoff and laugh as she obviously read my mind and heard our thoughts. I turned those thoughts to her. I had assumed, I said carefully, you weren't watching. Lucifer laughed again. This time it was a soft, delighted sound.
Is murdering a murderer murder?
She said. I knew it was rhetorical.
You know murder can be called murder if it's unlawful. But is this?
I ignored her and continued cleaning my hands as I listened. I would allow her to talk a bit. It would take her interest away from me and onto other things.
I mean, technically, a murder needs to be done with malice aforethought.
I sat and listened. For fuck's sake, I murmured.
You did kill with some sort of intention, I suppose. It was definitely not in self-defense, was it? So
I knew where this was going.
So we only really have the last possible argument that this was not a murder.
Fen laughed at my discomfort.
You know, the argument that murder can only be committed by a person of sound mind. Well?
I'm actually not guilty, I said, looking at her. She smiled.
Ah, yes. Quite so.
She smiled.
You've never been of sound mind, have you?
Fen again found this amusing. I smiled and continued wiping. No, it's not that, I told her. You see, what it actually is I'm not a person, am I? I looked at her, and she nodded.
A very good point. No personality at all. Case dismissed.
She flourished a bow, a totally overdramatic bow, and then went back to leaning on the door. I mean, looking at her, I'd seen beautiful women before, queens, actresses, models, sometimes murderers. Lucifer was, well, she was something else entirely, not beautiful, no. I'd engineered her in my mind. You know, she was supposed to be seen by everyone as whatever their lustful fantasies are. What I'd done is I'd taken every crude one of those fantasies of mine and I'd turned the dial past 11 in taste and gone straight into, well, I suppose you'd call it satire. Her waist was impossibly small, an hourglass pulled too tight. Her chest was exaggerated to the point of absurdity. How she could stand up, I've no idea. Her legs seemed twice the length they had any right to be, disappearing into gleaming red leather that clung like fresh paint. The stiletto heels were, well, they were more than that. They were daggers. They were fucking swords. Her long dark hair spilt down the back in perfect waves that looked less styled and more manufactured. Her lips were painted a violent red. The makeup around her eyes was heavy enough to belong on stage. A drag queen, not a, I don't know, person? That's wrong, innit? She looked like a sort of, I don't know, satirical sin designed by committee. I stared at her, looked her up and down, not hungrily, no, but analytically. Then my mouth twitched and I looked away, trying to hide my amusement. Lucy noticed my smirk and slowly lowered her gaze, knowing it was going to be bad, and then showed utter shock. Her eyes narrowed with real anger.
You cannot.
She said slowly.
You can not.
Oh, this was this real anger? It might be.
Be serious.
I let out a laugh. She was proper disgusted with what she saw of herself.
Oh, this.
She looked at me and waved her hands down her body, presenting it to me.
This.
Priceless, I interjected with a smile, trying to sound sort of seductive. The look she shot back would have shattered many a soul, killed angels, kerfuddled a pope. I, however, sort of leaned back on the bench, wiping the last of the blood from her knuckles with the towel she'd given me. You look like... You look like every bad decision I made in my life, I told her. Fenrir's voice rumbled with amusement inside my skull.
Only you, Will,
Fen said, deeply entertained.
could make Lucifer herself feel uncomfortable by looking at her.
Lucifer folded her arms.
Uncomfortable?
She repeated, incredulous.
I am the template, Will. Humanity copies me.
I grinned. Yeah, and they've obviously been doing it wrong for centuries. My eyes travelled up and down her again, not leering, just clinically impressed. I got what you call the template absolutely correct, don't you think? Lucifer stared at me, actually stared, as if reassessing an insect that had just spoken in, I don't know, Latin.
This,
She said slowly.
is your idea of correct?
I barked a laugh. Oh, yeah, extremely correct, and tilted my head. To be honest, you're lucky you don't have a fluffy tail and a wolf's head. A pause. A definite pause. Lucy, well, she was lost for words for the first time possibly in 12 centuries. I smirked. You know me, I swing both ways. Oh, no, you know, human, wolf. It's not weird, it's a werewolf thing. Fenrir actually choked on a laugh. It was amazing, he was managing to hold it somehow. For the first time in several millennia, Lucifer looked genuinely and spectacularly done with someone, and that someone was me again. She recovered. Of course she did. She pinched the bridge of her nose.
I have commanded plagues. I have broken kings. I've ended civilizations. But my underwear has never been this far up the crack of my arse.
She looked hard at me. She looked at me as though this was going to go, well, hard for me. And not in that way either. Then thankfully, mirth showed in those pits of eyes.
And this is what I'm dealing with.
She looked down at herself in acted disgust. I smiled, now perfectly relaxed, sitting beside a cooling corpse. Welcome to customer service, I said. Customer service with that end of the shift energy. Why do you watch? I asked, changing the subject as quick as I could. It took her a while to look up. She was still contemplating what she was seeing.
Watching stuff happen and plans unfold. It's my favourite hobby.
She moved in and crouched slightly over Nisha's body, giving me, wow, interesting viewing angles to that. To her body. Yes, I like watching you too, I said with a lecherous tone. She stopped. She physically shook and then turned towards me. Disgust was resplendent on that overly beautiful face.
Well, I'm the devil, and that even creeped me out. Yuck.
I shrugged, and shaking her head, she went back to the inspection of, Nisha's body with, it looked like she was giving it some professional interest.
You know,
She continued conversationally.
if you're trying to make it look like an accident, pulverising the brain box rather ruins the illusion.
She glanced up at me questioningly.
People rarely smash their heads 3 times on something by accident, do they?
My jaw tightened. I tried, to face it out. I wasn't worried about it looking like an accident. The mess is... I sort of waved my hands around the room as though all the people were there. It's their problem, really, I told her.
Oh, Will.
Lucifer said brightly.
Then you should have gone bigger.
She stood again, dusting imaginary dirt from her hands.
Fire, teeth, a nice ritual circle, something theatrical. This just looks municipal.
That made me exhale sharply through my nose. Annoyance replaced my embarrassment. Why are you here? I asked her flatly. Her ridiculously wide, made-up smile smiled made up wider. Ah, there it was. Interest.
I've come
She said.
with an opportunity.
Ah, shit. That's never good.
On the contrary,
She replied.
it's marvellous for you, but possibly catastrophic for everyone else.
She tilted her head.
I want you to fight someone.
I blinked. Fight?
Yes.
Physically?
Yes.
I gestured vaguely at the corpse. I've just finished one. Lucifer waved that away.
Oh, that didn't count. Wasn't really a fight in any case, was it?
She leaned in, eyes shining deep and red.
This one's in hell. Higher caliber opponent.
She breathed. That confused me. Hell? I thought it was banned from hell. Fen stirred sharply.
Astaroth.
Fen asked, low and urgent. She simply nodded, delighted.
She means Astaroth, Will.
Who's that? I wondered. Fenrir didn't answer immediately, which was never a good thing.
A joke.
Fen said at last.
A general. A throne sitter, old as rock, clever, cruel. Second only to her.
A pause.
He kills things like us for sport, Will.
Just that made me stare hard at Lucifer. I stared slowly, carefully, and with intention. Right, let me get this right. You want me, I said to her, to fight what he's just said? She clasped her hands behind her back coquettishly.
Yes.
She replied, rocking back and forth like an excited child. She must have been kidding me on. You've lost your bloody mind. Lucifer was... I don't know how she got there. She was just suddenly close and leaning closer. It was far too close. Voice dropping.
I've never had one. A mind, that is.
She whispered in my ear, then pulled away from me, smiling sweetly.
But I have noticed that Astaroth is becoming ambitious.
Her eyes hardened just a fraction.
I dislike ambition in others. In others, I can't control.
I crossed my arms, feeling a little defensive. And what if I say no? Lucifer just gave a simple shrug.
Then you go back to your cars, your auctions, your quiet little murders.
She faked a deep yawn and then raised that ridiculous smile again.
But if you say yes...
She stepped even closer. So close her scent became too intense. Burnt sugar, ozone, something ancient and wrong.
You get to test yourself against something that doesn't break.
I felt Fenrir's grin. A deep, feral approval.
I would like to do that.
Fen murmured. I studied Lucifer carefully. I could read nothing from her. Wait a minute, you're offering me a war? I asked. Lucifer's eyes gleamed red.
I'm offering you something you're lacking. Excitement. Purpose. Not this. This.
She said, presenting the empty cell. She glanced once more at Nisha's body.
And frankly, Will, you're wasted on humans.
The humans part of the sentence was said so dismissively it hurt even me and not all human. Silence fell between us, heavy, charged, like the breath before a storm tears down the open sky. And then I smiled, a slow, dangerous smile. All right, I said, actually excited. But if I win, Lucifer laughed.
Oh, Will.
She said softly.
You don't win.
She turned, already fading from the cell.
You change the game.
And then she was gone, leaving behind only that scent of the burnt sugar and whatever, and the promise of hell waiting to be broken. I turned to look at my wolf soul. He looked at me. He was actually excited. I smiled. He smiled back. You know what? This was the first time it had been proper exciting for a while.
Brought to you in association with Grendel Press. This is Werewolf the Podcast, a serial killer drama.